Welcome to another fascinating interview on the Lipedema channel, TLC, where we show a lot of tender love and care to the lipedema population. We really do care. My name is Brenda Viola. I work for Lympha Press and medical solutions supplier. We offer the Optimal Plus, which is the only pneumatic compression device cleared by the FDA for the treatment of lipedema. And I have been fascinated to speak with amazing women who have this condition. And I've been doing it for months now, and I've been wanting so much to talk to Jennifer Williams, and today is the day. Hi, Jennifer.
Hi, Brenda. Thank you so much for having me.
It is such a joy and a pleasure because your moniker is going to inspire a lot of people, plus size and proud. When did you arrive at that decision that that's how you were going to identify?
You know, I just changed my Instagram handle name a few months back, but I started the Instagram in 2017 after I had started losing weight again. I say again because I had bypass surgery in 2005, and I managed to lose some weight, but then some tragedies occurred in my life and I ended up gaining weight clear back over 400 pounds. And in 2016, kind of took my life back, started losing the weight, dropping pounds, dropping baggage, and just decided to get on social media and share my story and, you know, not being afraid to take pictures anymore and hoping to make a difference for other people.
And you are doing that. And I have to say that it gives hope to people when you say numbers like over 400 pounds and then people see you today. Although it's not just about losing weight or volume,
Right.
This is so much about embracing who you are as a person. So I want to
Exactly.
go back even before 2005 when you had your surgery.
Mm-hmm.
Tell me about your formative years. A lot of times lipedema presents in puberty. Did you have that experience?
It does. I remember as far back to 8th grade, I was maybe 12, 13 when I first noticed my legs being larger. And what brought it to my attention was we had to go shopping for clothes, and the normal store clothes didn't fit. And I think Lane Bryant had just started coming around then. It was like 88, 89. And I had found a cute pair of pink shorts at Lane Bryant, wore them to school, and a classmate was asking me where I got my shorts from. And I said, oh, Lane Bryant. She goes, that's the fat woman's store. And that comment just crushed me. And I always knew, you know, I was a little bit different. I had a bigger bottom than the other girls and bigger hips. But from that point on is really where my confidence and inner self started struggling with the size of my legs. And as I went into high school, I didn't want to do PE class because you had to wear PE shorts. So I took tennis lessons in summer school and ended up joining the tennis team. But with that came wearing tennis skirts, and they didn't make my size. I think I was size 20 maybe, but back then, you know, a size 20 now is different from a size 20 then. And plus size clothes really weren't out and about. You didn't have a big variety. It was mostly the older women kind of clothes. So I wore like culotte shorts and I wore tights when I would play on the tennis team, and got through my high school years basically just hiding my legs, and went into college and met another girl that was similarly built like me and was wearing my tights with shorts. And she again came and she said, you know, if I had legs like yours, I wouldn't even wear shorts. But her legs were like mine. And I thought, okay, that was not very friendly, but you know, it's always been in the back of my head and always something that I was trying to hide to not bring attention to, because people would always comment on it and wasn't something I wanted to have to deal with.
It's so cruel and insensitive what we
Really?
face when we look a little different from everyone else. And I often share my stories growing up. I was 100 pounds in kindergarten. And
Oh, wow.
I know. So I do sort of get this a bit. And I never could buy off the rack. Sears had a chubby department. So I
Oh,
always had to look in the catalog for chubby. And you know, at the age of 8, I'm looking at chubby and identifying as chubby. My mom had to make my own dresses. I know that feeling of I'm not like everyone else. I
yeah.
have to say, and I want to ask you this, do you find that it makes you extra sensitive to how you interact with others and being mindful of their soft and tender spots?
It really does. And that was crossing my mind the other day, you know, just thinking about stuff that's been going on. And I've kind of felt defeated the last couple of days, but thinking, you know, how I interact with people, I am a lot more compassionate because of the way people treated me. I wouldn't want to treat somebody the same way or affect their minds in the same way.
Yeah.
You know, there's you can get a point across without being rude, or some things just aren't anybody's business. You know, I see so many people posting, you know, how they wish that they could go out, but people are staring at them when they wear a bathing suit or they're wearing shorts. But my response to that is that's their insecurity. Not, you know, if you're confident in yourself, just care about your life because they're not living your life, you are. And its experience is lost. And I'd hate for people to lose experiences because I've lost so many and wish I could take them back, but we can't go back. We just have to move forward.
But we can go forward and forge a new path. And obviously, your path is a source of inspiration to so many women. I also want to ask, have you noticed this in your family history?
You know, I'm still questioning that. My father's side, I really didn't know much about their side of the family. I've seen pictures, and he always tells me, you know, on his side of the family, the women were always bigger and larger. And my mom's side, they're pretty thin. My mom isn't thin or big. She's kind of in between, but she has always hid her legs because of varicose veins or, you know, light colored skin. And she seems like she has some lymphedema happening right now as she's older, but she won't identify with it.
Gotcha.
She doesn't want to think that something's wrong with her. So I'm really not sure. My younger sister has a shape like me, but
Yeah.
then my older sister is a toothpick. You don't know. Everybody's different.
Everybody's different. And, you know, we always say in these interviews too, everybody's path is different. Some do choose surgery, some do not. Some prefer vibration plates, some are into essential oils. There's a variety of tools in the toolbox.
And
So
it's great.
it is great because whatever works for you and whatever feels right to you. So many of the women I talk to say, listen to your body. Listen to your
Yeah.
body. Just because it works for someone else doesn't mean it'll work for you. But I want to go back to, so you go through these formative years and even your young adult years. When did you finally get diagnosed?
I was just officially diagnosed this year in February. I just turned 45 a couple days ago and was just officially diagnosed in February by Dr. Wright in St. Louis. I had first seen somebody with my legs, looked exactly like my legs on Instagram when I had started my social media, and I couldn't believe it. It's like, no way anybody has legs like mine. And this is just crazy. And started posting about lipedema, and I had been Googling, you know, pain in legs, heaviness, people that had lost weight still didn't look like my legs. And I started researching lipedema then, and it led me to the Fat Disease Research
The Fat
Society, I think.
Disorders Resource Society,
Yes.
FDRS, which is
And
a wonderful resource that we recommend.
oh, definitely. And I had seen that they were having a conference in 2019 in Baltimore. And my son is in college in DC. So I thought, wow, why don't I go to this conference? So I signed up to go, and I got an email saying they were doing research for lipedema from the University of Arizona and Dr. Earps. So I signed up for that too. And when I went for it, just saw women exactly like me and did the research. And Dr. Earps had said, welcome to the club. And, it is a club in essence, because we all identify together. We all know the struggles. We've all been teased and gone through the clothes not fitting and weight loss, weight gain, everything. So it's just been great so far because it's a club.
Yeah. Well, how did it feel to finally have it identified as a real thing?
It was just amazing. It was like lights just went on, because from then on, everything I was hearing, everything I heard at the conference, I could identify with. And I had never seen anything like it anywhere else before. All of my symptoms wouldn't draw me to any conclusion. The doctors just said, you're overweight, and have bypass or get on a diet. Every problem was weight related. But now that I know and I have the knowledge and the resources to look, everything makes sense now.
And you did listen to your doctors. I mean, back in 2005, as you said, you had surgery. So
Yes.
let's walk back to that. What preceded you making that decision?
I was having high blood pressure. I think I was 29 and was just miserable with myself and didn't have any luck losing weight. I had been on every diet possible from the time I was 13 and through high school. And I would gain 20 pounds, but then gain back, or lose 20 pounds, then gain back 30. And it was just a yo-yo. And my doctor was like, you need this, and went and did it. And it was great. I thankful every day that I did it.
The
But
exact surgery you had was it bariatric?
I had the Roux-en-Y gastric bypass.
Gastric bypass. Okay.
So everything was rerouted.
And you were how old at the time?
29.
29. And you did see a reduction.
I did. I lost maybe 65 pounds. And I became addicted to pain medicine after I had that surgery.
Oh no. Oh no.
And
But I'm so grateful you're mentioning this, because so many people
it
don't
happens so
realize
much.
that there is sometimes a domino effect.
It really is.
Mind sharing about that?
Yeah, it was terrible. At the time, there wasn't as many restrictions and laws that there are now. So you were able to get refill. The doctor would just prescribe it, call it in or something. And I happened to work in surgery at the time. So I was working with doctors too. And any pains, that I had, I'd have that. And I had it from the surgery and just became dependent on it. And then when I didn't have the prescriptions, I'd find a way to get it somehow, even if it was just buying it off of the street.
Oh my
So
goodness.
at one point, my worst point, I was taking about 20 a day, 20 pain pills a day. And some people, they can't handle the medicine. It gives them a headache or they get dizzy. For me, it made me happy. It made me be able to do stuff. I could clean the house, take care of the kids, do everything I needed to do. But I ended up having a problem with it. And in
Wow.
2009 was when I decided, enough was enough. I can't do this anymore. I was miserable. I was miserable on it. I was miserable off it. I didn't want to be associated with it. So I took leave from my job and got into a rehab that was outpatient so I could take care of my kids. And that's what I needed. I needed to get off of it.
I applaud you for A, the honesty to say there's a problem here, and B, for taking the action and getting the help you needed to get clean, because now I have the privilege of many years later sitting and talking with you, and your life is inspiring and helping so many other people. Jennifer, I had no idea. So now you're clean, you're off of the meds. You have had a surgery. What happens next in your story?
You know what? I would really like to have the surgeries for lipedema, at least in my legs, so that I can have the mobility to continue. I can't see myself in 20 years being able to walk with the heaviness in my legs, and my knees are starting to break down. So I'm working toward that, and I'm really fighting hard to do it through insurance so that a lot of other women can get their insurance on board too and know that they can do it. Because right now it's still really hard, and there's
Yeah.
a lot of hoops to jump. And I posted on my story yesterday, I was feeling defeated, seeing friends, seeing the other lipedema women having their surgeries, feeling so great and happy and able to do more. That's what I want. And I felt kind of down because I don't have money, you know, to just spend for this surgery, that surgery. I have good insurance. Insurance companies really need to recognize that this is a disease and we need taken care of too. And we do our best. We don't lie to the doctor and say we're not eating. We're just not eating. Some of us are starving ourselves. Some of us are, you know, sticking to diets, having the weight loss surgery, and we're still stuck. So I think once we push through and get insurance companies on board, so many more women will be so much better off.
I agree 1,000,000%. We at Lympha Press are very much aware of the need for the insurances to recognize this condition. We're so honored to be affiliated with people like Dr. Herbst or Dr.
Oh, yeah.
McCutcheon, and even Dr. Schwartz showed up to our roundtable recently.
Yeah, that was
Talk
great.
about, I know, wasn't it great? It was like, I felt like it was a celebrity meeting. There are people that are committed and dedicated to keeping this forward and in the forefront and getting answers and results. And, you know, I would love to talk about some of the tools that you are using to manage your condition. And I'm so excited that one of them is the Lympha Press Optimal Plus.
I'm so happy too about that. It's so simple and so easy just to slip on, zip up, and I turn it on by my phone. You know, the Bluetooth with the machine makes it easier. You don't have to have the machine right next to you. Just push the button on your phone in the app and it goes, and then you're there. I'm watching videos for an hour while I do it, and so easy. You
So
know,
you have tried other pneumatic compression devices.
I have
Is there a difference in the feeling, the ease of use, the results?
the ease of use completely. The other companies that I used was just so difficult to put on. There were so many hoses to plug into the machine. I even had to have an adapter because I had to do both legs and the abdomen pieces, put them on myself, plug it in, turn it on. And most of the time I needed my daughter to help me because they told me to raise my feet on the pillows. So I'm shoving pillows under and Velcroing everything. So I didn't want to use it anymore because it was just so hard to do. It took me a half hour to get in it, and then I'm in it for another hour. It just wasn't convenient for me. And the Lympha Press has just been crazy amazing because it's just, you slide it on, slide into it, zip it up, and you're ready to go. And it feels good after a day at work. I work evenings, so I get home late at night, and I just slip into it before I go to bed, sometimes fall asleep, and nothing could be easier than that.
Well, that's great to hear. And that's one of the things before we even started promoting it. We wanted to experience real life women telling us what they were seeing. And they're seeing fat pads diminish, pain reduce. By the way, I want to talk to you about pain. Do you have the
Yes.
pain that's affiliated with lipedema?
I have horrible pain and heaviness just in the thigh area, on the front of my thighs. Some days I feel like I'm just carrying around anchors, and the pain is deep. It's not muscle, it's not bone, it's just deep aching pain. And it happens at night, typical lipedema pain. But that only started when I started losing weight. I didn't have pain before that. So when I started losing the weight and having the pain, I thought maybe it was just you know, the cellulite in the legs maybe pushing on the nerves because of the skin hanging, or, the fat becoming more loose. But learning more with the lipedema, it's actually the lipedema that's causing the pain.
Mm. Do you also have lymphedema?
I do. Dr. Wright had diagnosed me with secondary lymphedema in the thighs and trunk only, which was so odd to me because when I think of lymphedema, I think of swollen ankles, swollen feet, and that's what I've seen everywhere. And I don't have any of that. I have no pitting in my feet. Stemmer sign is negative, but it's just from my knees up, and in my trunk is the lymphedema. So I had my first MLD evaluation today, and I'm going to start going to that twice a week now. So I'm excited to get that hurdle jumped for surgery, because there's certain things you have to do, and that's considered one of the conservative therapies to do first.
Excellent. So I'm puzzled about one thing, and yet I'm not puzzled. So many women can't find a doctor to prescribe them where they live. And I know you're on the West Coast, but Dr.
Yes.
Wright is in the middle of the country, right?
Yeah.
Did
Yes,
you travel all the way to him to get your diagnosis?
I did. I had seen a lot of people online talking about him as a good specialist. I had wanted to see Dr. Earps and had scheduled an appointment 6-7 months out, but then she left the practice and I was stuck. I was like, oh no, who am I going to see now? And started researching, calling around. I tried to call Stanford in California, but they had a 1.5 year wait.
Wow.
And I emailed Dr. Wright's office. They emailed me back right away and got me in, I think it was 3 or 4 months ahead so I could plan my trip. But they've been great.
And that is how committed the lipedema community is to getting answers. They will travel to get
Yes.
them and to get the help they need. And I long for a day where every city has a center where, like the Carolina Vein Center and Lindy McCutcheon, where people can go and they know. You don't have to educate them about lipedema. They are experts. That is
Exactly.
the dream.
Right. Or have doctors, all of the doctors know about it. I had gone to see a rheumatologist because I was having pain in my hands and my elbows. And he asked me if I had pain anywhere else. And I mentioned my legs and was explaining to him why. And I said, I have lipedema. And he looked at me and said, what's that? And I was explaining it to him and he goes, oh, it's a fat disorder. I said, yeah, it's a fat disorder. And he said, oh, I know it, but it's different from what you're saying. It's a different name.
Hmm.
And I thought, okay. But I felt okay because he was kind of like, he kind of knew what I was talking about, but he still didn't know it as lipedema.
Mm-hmm.
So if we had doctors that knew about it, primary care specialists, then we won't have to drive or fly cross country, get
Yes.
diagnosed, or fly overseas for treatment. So many people are flying over to Germany and Spain and getting their surgeries done there because it's less expensive or for various reasons.
Yeah.
But if we had everything local, that would be so much easier for so many people.
And so again, we appreciate those of you who are continuing to stay focused on the end goal, which is recovering, to stop the progression of this disease, to get your quality of life back. And we applaud you. And Jennifer, I want to now focus on how you made the pivot from hiding your body to being plus size and proud. How did that shift happen in your mind?
It was a natural shift, but a shift that needed to be done. Because when I was in my getting over the addiction to pain medicine, being unhappy with my weight, changing my life around, getting back to work, getting more confident about myself, really getting back to who I used to be. You know, the person I used to be, the happier person, the positive person, just evolving back into it. And I was proud of it, proud of pulling myself out from the bottom, the dirt, having hit rock bottom, rising out of the fire, they say.
I think I'm going to title this interview Rising Out of the Fire. I love that. And so I know that you're friends with my friend, PGP, Pale Ginger
Yes.
Hair. And when she comes out to the West Coast and has her surgery, she hangs out with you. How important is having friends and a community to support you in this journey to you?
It's imperative, you know, watching their recovery, and us, the bystanders with lipedema, helping them recover helps us, get better too, because we know what the end result is going to look like. They're there to support us when it's our journey. I never really had a lot of friends before. My friends were like coworkers, because it was coworkers and family. And now getting the lipedema community together, it's great. It's great having women to talk to, message, joke with. We all understand each other. And I'm looking forward to seeing her. I'm excited to see her.
No, as we're recording this, she's preparing for her next surgery, which I believe is on the thigh area, which is
Yes.
going to be really a significant shift. And of course, we'll be talking to her about that. Meanwhile, you're watching your friend go through the surgeries and you're saying, I want it too. So do you have a GoFundMe account? Are you actively seeking assistance? How can we support you? I want to share that with all of our viewers.
I do have a GoFundMe account. I have the link is on my profile. But right now, my goal is to get the surgery covered by insurance. But I still have, if that happens, I'm not sure what my portion will be, and that's going to be a significant portion as well.
Yeah.
And there's a website, and a woman that I've spoke to, coverlipedema.org, that has given me so much great information, and that's available too. They will help you line up your paperwork, work with the doctors, work with you, help you any way you can to get coverage from your insurance and fight the fight.
I'm glad you mentioned coverlipedema.org. That is a great resource for everyone. And we want you to know too, at Lympha Press, if you can get the doctor's order, which isn't hard to do. If you want one, I'll send it to you. Send it back and we will work with your insurance, and we will also gather whatever you need to try to obtain the coverage, particularly in the scenario in our world right now. If you also have lymphedema, it is generally easier to get coverage, but we will advocate for you. And we also have purchase plans for those of you that are just like, you know what, I just want one. You will be surprised that it can be very affordable, and we will make it so for you. So here it is, where I don't want to take up too much of your time, but I want to give you the platform to speak to someone out there who may be struggling, who maybe is having a blue day and feeling a bit hopeless. What would you say to the person watching this interview?
You know, I've been in that position so many times, and I'm sure I'll be in that position in the future. You know, you never know what's going to happen. You're going to have good days, you're going to have bad days, but the good days outweigh the bad days. And if you can just take it an hour at a time, minute at a time, whatever you have to do to get through the day, it'll benefit you. And I found, for me, a lot of self-talk helps when I'm having bad days, and just reminding myself where I came from and who I don't want to be, and that I'm pushing forward to be the person that is just going to blow me away from who I am now. You know, the future, so much can happen, and you're in control of your life.
Wow. That is a powerful statement, and it's so true. And we encourage all of you out there who are watching to remember how far you've already come. Think about all the obstacles you've already surmounted. You did it before, you'll do it again. And I encourage all of you to follow Plus Size and Proud Jennifer Williams. You are wonderful.
Thank you so much, Brenda. Thank you for what you do.
It's a joy and a pleasure. And if you know someone who would make a wonderful interview for the Lipedema channel, send them my way. My email is bviola@medsoulsupplier.com. Until then, have a wonderful day, everybody. See ya.